Welcome to another entry of my director's diary. This is week 4, day, technically day 2. However, we did have a day off for bank holiday. So this is week 4, day 1. Let's call it that. But if you've been following this in order, you'll see that we're on schedule. So speaking of schedule, so the actors came back from a day off, which was necessary not only for them but for myself. I think it's important that you as a director, you take time to rest, recalibrate. I hope I'm using that correctly, and come back and re-strategize. Because the next few days are going to be very intense with run-throughs, and then we begin tech on Saturday. So it's going to be very, very potentially stress heavy. Um, so what they did is they actually used this as a chance to run lines. So they did meet up, I'm told, to run lines. And then we also, when we came in, I called them a little bit later. It all kind of worked out nicely because we were missing an actor. And I needed to also do some kind of outside work as well. So I called them around 11 o'clock. We then went back and revisited scenes that the other actor wasn't in. And my aim for this week, as I mentioned, was to kind of get out a little bit more, make them more dynamic physically. And I was inspired by what was in the room. And to begin with, I thought actually they need some kind of tug, some push and pull. So we got there was a rope, spare rope, around pretty heavy duty, and I got two of the actors to kind of push a tug of war, so to speak, while they're doing the lines. But before I did that, actually, I got them to run around the space with me. We did that, get their kind of breath and body moving. And then from then on, I had them do the rope exercise. Now, the point of this was to, get them kind of like engaging with their breath to begin with, when you're so-called out of breath and then you have to speak on your own stage. I think it really gets you um having to be economical, but also engage strong a lot more strongly with your breath, but also to embody what you're saying because you're having to keep up with what's going on. It's either you give up or you stay strong and reset and that kind of thing. And there was, moments that came alive. And then I did that with the rope exercise, which is, you really when you have something to say, you really get the other actor onto your side, and then when they pull you, so it's a real push and pull kind of thing, or you're being pushed or pulled, and then you're doing the pulling. Maybe not push and pull is not the best term, but you're really actively and physically fighting for your corner, and that's what something that was lacking in their previous work. So that really got them awake. And then I got two of the other actors to in a different scene to one I learned he did some boxing, so I got them to do a little bit of boxing while they're saying the line, bah, bah, so this and that and get this and that, they start to physicalize it. So that was really helpful. And then there was one where I got them to say their speech but interrupt the other person. So the monologue is going and going, but interrupt the other person, and that allowed them to fight for their corner a lot more and add some improvisation. I added a whole range of different things. So there was one where they do the scene, and anytime I slap the drum, I want them to go to suspend their thought, and then suspend their thought, and for the other character who's been spoken at to say how they feel about what this person is saying. So, what this person is, what's that doing to them physically and emotionally, right? What do they wish they could do? I wish I could just box them in the face, okay, I wish I could um say that they're ruining my life and that kind of thing. That also went on top of another one where I got them to action some of their lines, right? So actioning is the idea that, you put some sort of active action, um, which to kind of get the real kind of definition, which is very helpful actually. Um, uh, I believe actually. Um, yeah, I think it's this idea to have like something more active, right? In other words, I slash you, I stroke you, I I lift you up, you know, I hug you, I push you. So they physicalize this. I stroke you, and then they say the line, I love you, you know, I slash you, I slash you. What are you doing here? You know? So they let go of that. So the next time they say it, I love you, is a stroke. Or what are you doing here? Is my slash. Okay. So just give them kind of opportunities to add these sort of actions in their work, and then let go of that and and in the run they can employ that. So we did a lot of that, physicalization, actioning their lines, kind of internal thoughts and internal kind of ideal um, physical activities they would like to do to this person who's pissing them off. That was running around the space while they're saying their lines, so that they can engage their breath and then I even went as far as getting them to do a plank while saying the lines. All this is, there's very um a lot more knowledgeable kind of practitioners that use similar physical things that allow the actors to be a bit more in their body. Okay, so you're trying to make them more physically dynamic because sometimes they things they do and you hear them actually speak, right? And they're more kind of in tune and they want what they're saying a lot more. But then when it's time to act, it's like all that is thrown out the window. So try to kind of employ some of that. Then we did the run again, because the actor that was missing, they were a little bit behind on some of the stuff we've done. So their notes were still in the old notes that I had given them. So it's time for next time to catch them up. And but th there was some really good, strong work that they did. And I kind of you let them know when great stuff is done, you remind them. And then we I noted them, and noting actors is obviously a part of the job of an actor. It can be challenging because you need to be specific. It needs to be something that they can play and they can be active with. So finding specific moments, you said this and it felt like maybe you needed this, right? So you said a line in a way that was a bit maybe casual. I need you to be more direct. I need you to be more front-footed. What does front-footed mean? Oh, well, I need you to maybe um fight for this argument a lot more. You really want this, okay? Be more urgent, for example, in that line. Be more urgent, be more direct. Don't beat around the bush. Don't be scared to say what you want to say, you know, or scold them on this line. Imagine you're throwing, give them more heat on that line. So that can be helpful kind of language around what they're saying. And this, and also there's certain things you can write down and say, okay, we'll deal with that later on, but try to nip a few things in the bud. Just craft things, if someone's standing somewhere they shouldn't stand, just remind them. You want to kind of create beautiful stage pictures, but at the same time, they have to be motivated by something. So always, there's actors that will ask you, "Oh, I don't quite understand why I've been asked to move there." So just make sure you have a direct response and direct reason as to why they're doing that. So that was our day, stagger two. Um, We've got three more staggers tomorrow. We've got a movement session and another run through. So stay tuned to hear a little bit more on that. And yeah, remember, direct, play, repeat. I'll see you soon.